What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn with Flip with Rick, and we are live. What is today? Today is January 21st, 5 p.m. So if you guys want to know if it's live, just check your little time clock there. So those of you who don't know me, I am Rick, also known AKA as Dad. You guys are very familiar with my son, Zach, and we do this channel right here, Flip with Rick. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook. It's endless. I'll share the links with you. And we talk about how to be a complete wholesaler. And today is a really, really cool video because we are going to talk about how to get your first wholesale deal for beginners for this year, 2022. Now, I got a little experience doing this. I've been doing it for 20 years. And I'm one of these crazy people that actually really loves this business. You've got it for doing it 20 years. My son has joined me, and he started when he was in high school. So those who don't know, he was a wrestler in high school and made $100,000 while he was in high school. So I don't care what your education level is. I don't care what your background is. Honestly, even if you have financial struggles, we basically teach you for free how to do this business, how to get started to make your first 100K. And I'm telling you, it's really not complicated. You just have to take action. You have to believe in yourself. My story, for you guys haven't heard my story before, I didn't start till I was 33. So I tried the other path. I tried college. I tried to get a good job. And after 10 years, it just drove me nuts. I just said, hey, I got to do something else. So I found wholesaling by accident. I didn't have a social media when I did it, and it was scary. But I will tell you, that step, me taking that action, absolutely changed my life. And it's the reason why Zach sits in front of you. It's the reason why I'm in front of you, and I can do what I want, when I want. I have complete financial freedom. I have freedom of my time, and I love spending time with my family and my friends. I love to go fishing. I love to have fun. And that's what wholesaling has done for me. So what we're going to do is we are going to walk through a step-by-step. This is for anyone that's never even done wholesaling before. And I'm going to share with you my step-by-step action plan to get you a deal. And we're going to focus on the next 60 to 90 days. At the end of it, we do a Q&A. And for those of you who have got the link, if you go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, it'll show you how you can link up with us. You have to be subscribed to us on YouTube channel and on our Facebook page on Wholesaling Houses for Real. I'll put that up here for you right now. And you guys pile in there. And remember, take advantage of it. I am here for 2 hours today. I'm going to spend about 20, 30 minutes giving you my action plan to get your first wholesale deal. And then let's go over it. So I would love to talk to people that are really just getting their feet in the water, and let's utilize this. So I don't have anything to sell you. I want to give you a step-by-step action plan, and you guys see the link on there. I'll leave it up there for a little bit, but if you guys are new to this channel, you know what I'm about to do. You have got to get an excitement level and enthusiasm that has to be way up there for wholesaling. So I'm a high energy person. No, I don't drink energy drinks. I don't do anything like that. You guys know my son. He does a lot of shouting, a lot of woo-haws. And guys, you have got to get up. So give me some love. If you guys can, and give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts, give me some likes. And I'm going to do a little bit of something to pump you up here. Guys, go ahead and put it on, and I'll be right back.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
That's it. That's the enthusiasm you have to bring it for wholesaling. So you just can't go, oh, Mr. Seller, I'm thinking about buying your house. You have got to be an excitable person. And even if it's not in your like normal character, guys, be the superhero, put on the cape and go out and help people. If you're watching this channel, I assume you have an interest in wholesaling. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about all you that want to get started in wholesaling, how to get a deal in the first 90 days in 2022. So if you have a question, do me a favor, just go ahead and post it in the comments. Let me put it on here. For those of you that are new to the channel, I can't cover everything in a 2-hour period, but if you go to freewholesaling.com, me and Zach offer an absolutely 100% free wholesaling course. I give you my 20 years experience. Zach's got 5 years, and you get 2 very experienced people to help you out. Our goal with this channel is to get as many people in to subscribe, to get up-to-date wholesaling information and give the most value of anybody else in the market. And that's how I'm going to build my legacy. And I believe I can coach everybody this way. I truly do. So I don't want any barriers for you guys to get started. It doesn't matter how you do it. I just want to get you started in wholesaling. Do it with me, do it with someone else, but why not start here? It's free, freewholesaling.com. I'll leave that up for a minute and let's dive into it. So I see some people piling in here and I'm going to put on a screen here. So it's titled on there, Only Do This. So if you're just starting out and you're brand new, take note of this. Now, the really cool thing is this live stream is recorded so you can refer back to it. So if you don't see it before, if don't feel like you got to like rush and take notes and do stuff like that. So let's dive into it. And sometimes I'm going to have to take my mug out of here so you can see the full slide. So number one, this is why people struggle to get their first deal. And this has not changed in 20 years since I've done this business. It doesn't matter who you work with. The main reason why people struggle to get their first deal is they have no plan or action, no consistency, which is a huge one, constantly chasing the next secret. So if you guys haven't learned by now, there's really no secrets in wholesaling. Everything has been done. Everything's been laid out. Yes, some technology changes, but it's kind of easy to keep up with that. But the core part of wholesaling will always remain the same. So anyone who tells you there's a secret, come with me, I can show you how to do it. I just really don't believe in secrets in wholesaling. It is a basic strategy to get started in investing in real estate. So I want you to understand that. Anyone tells you a secret, I would probably look twice at it. We are so guilty of complicating the business. When I first started out, I way overcomplicated this business. Okay. And what do I mean by complicating the business? You ever sit there and just stare at spreadsheets, stare at numbers, stare at lists? And you guys can do that. But I promise you, until you take action, you won't get a deal. So I've had the best luck with myself and people I've worked with. You don't need to know everything. Matter of fact, today, I learned something brand new in real estate. And I've been doing this 20 years. So I want you to understand you'll never know it all. If you find somebody that knows it all, run. Okay, I'm admitting to you, I don't know everything. I constantly learn and I'm a student to the game. So wholesaling is a starting entry level to get you started in real estate. We all love it the most because in my opinion, it's the fastest way to assemble cash, wealth, and minimize your risk. There is a right way and a responsible way to do it. And that's the only way I know how to teach because I want to treat everyone just like their family and you need to do the same. So we need to set up a goal up front with a timeline. Okay. If you don't, you're going to be watching videos like this for the next 2 years and it's not going to help you. At some point, you've got to go out and you've got to take the action. Okay. So is everybody clear on this? Great. Remember, it's recorded. You don't have to write everything. So I always tell people when you get into wholesaling, this is really like my biggest, you guys, if you haven't heard me before, this is what I taught Zach. This is what I'm teaching you. You have to define your why. What do I mean by that? Why are you in wholesaling? If you're just in wholesaling to make money, leave now because it's not enough to stay in the game. Let me repeat. If you're in it just to make money, it's not enough to stay in wholesaling. You've actually got to have a why. So here was my why. I worked a corporate job. I sat behind a desk. I hated every minute of it. And I did it for almost 11 years in a row. I was constantly berated by my boss, and I had to move. They wanted me to move all over the country. I moved 6 times in the state of Florida, and I started having kids. And I said, I don't want to move. So I found another way. I took a risk. And long story short, I'm in front of you right now. So if I didn't have my why is I wanted financial freedom and I wanted more time with my family and friends. And I got to be honest with you, the first year or two, I had to put a lot of time into the business. But ever since then, I've gotten more and more time back in. So you will have to invest time up front, but I promise you, if you stay committed, you will get all the time you ever need. I promise you. So your why. You're doing it for extra income. You're doing to build wealth. Are you going to keep your job or leave your job? I see this argument all the time. And you know what? There is no right answer. It's the right answer for you. So I did wholesaling. Why? I did a full-time job. I was working between 60 and 80 hours a week. And I found time to do wholesaling. Guys, the reason I didn't quit my job is I had a mortgage. I had 2 young children. And I had a family that was dependent on me, and I was addicted to the paycheck. So if you guys know what a salary is, it's like you give up your dreams for a price to build somebody else's. And I got tired of it. But I will tell you that first 6 months was scary. So I built a plan up. I said, once I built up at least half a year salary, I'll leave my job. Well, I did it very, very rapidly, and I wound up leaving. A lot of you go, hey, I'm just going to quit my job and leave. God, listen, if you got kids, you got a mortgage, you got people that you need to take care of, you need to take care of your mom and dad. Be sensible about this, guys. You can work it in. You get 24 hours a day. I don't know about you, but an 8-hour work day, most people only spend about an hour and a half working. So it can be done. It is hard, but you've got to be practical. Like when you do this, don't just quit your job without a plan, with no money, because that's going to stress you out a whole lot more than wholesaling ever will. So, define your why. So how do we get started on wholesaling? The first thing you have to do is define your current day structure. So you have to observe. So it doesn't matter if you have a job, figure out when you go to job, when you come home, and how many hours you got to work on wholesaling. You've got to look at your pattern for 1 week. I suggest actually 2 weeks, and write it down and document it. Why? Because you are going to have to trim fat off your day. So a lot of times we get calls coming in. So if you get a lunch break, you can call back a seller. Sometimes you can call them early in the morning. Some people are morning, and you do a lot of evening work. So you have to figure out what your day is. The next one is, how many hours can you commit to per week? The really cool thing about wholesaling, it's not a 50, 60 hour a week like work. It's different. In the beginning, it's sometimes more work, but it's not like you're sitting at a desk doing 8 to 10 hours of work today. You're most likely working on lists, calling back customers, and working on deals, on trying to get information on them. A lot of follow-up. So how many hours can you commit? If you're working 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, be honest with yourself, because I don't want you to get in wholesaling to take time away from your family. You've got to understand the goal is to give time back to your family. So if you get into it and you go, you tell your wife, go, hey, Rick and Zach talk me, get into wholesaling so I can spend more time with you, and she never sees you anymore, you're going to get resistance. So make sure you have a plan up front. Next, define your players. Most of you are going to start out as a one-man or one-woman army, and that's perfectly fine. I did it for 7 years. Now, I did it the hard way because I didn't realize I needed help till I was way in over my head. So most people within within 12 to 18 months can start bringing other people on. We're not going to talk about that today. So the players, if you're the player, just be honest with you. I'm going to do everything. Okay. You got to spell it out. If you're going to have your spouse work with you, you got to find out what they're going to do. He or she, what are they really good at? Maybe they help you with dispositions. Maybe they help you with follow-up. Who's going to do the marketing? So you want to research your market to target. I always recommend start in your backyard. You guys know it best. Nobody knows your neighborhood like you do. And even if in your Los Angeles, California, I know it's competitive. Like, you don't have to tell me that. New York City. But I will tell you, you know every block, every street, you know every per square feet value. When a deal comes up, you can strike faster than anyone else. So if you can pick up 1 or 3 deals in a year, those could be your big ticket items, even if you decide to do virtual. If you decide to do virtual, that's fine. Just do your homework. It's so important that you understand your market before you dive into it, because virtual takes a little bit more time because you don't know it like your backyard. Next, don't skip this one because it's going to cost you a lot more in the long run. Consult legal and accounting advice from a professional. You might have to pay a little bit of money, but I'm telling you, it will save you a ton of headache down the road. Ask me how I know this, because when you start making a lot of money and you haven't set up the correct entities or the tax strategy, it's tough. Don't let that be a deterring factor, but understanding. So you guys got tax season coming up, right? So you're probably already reached out to your accountant. Start talking to them. Say, listen, I'm looking to flip properties, and understand they're going to give you an opinion. I've had so many accountants tell me like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Listen, I didn't ask for your advice. I want to do it. I asked about your tax strategies and if you understand real estate. And sometimes they'll tell you like they don't, and you need to find somebody else when you do it. So, and then guys, don't forget freewholesaling.com. You go there, register for the course. All you do is put in your email address, and it's step by step. It's all sectioned out for you. And I'll go into greater detail on that with you. And we do these lives. We do 3 lives a week and 2 videos a day. And we try to highlight everything in the course to constantly review it for you. So guys, I got about 15 minutes left on the slides, and then we'll do some Q&A. So I see I got Sam, I got Peter, I got Charlene. I am not forgetting about you. So, but smile because I can see your face, Sam. Okay. Dude, I really like when you guys go on the live and show me the face, because it just makes me want to bring you on. So I'm not picking on when you don't show your face. I get it. So it's cool. So choosing your marketing channel. This is the method you are going to deliver your message to your motivated seller. So consider what method works for your personality. Why do I say this? Because I avoided cold calling a long time. You know why? Because I hate it. Like, I'm just going to tell you, I'm honest. I do not like constantly calling thousands of people and having 99% of them say no. Now, take my son on the hand, Zach. He'll do it with his eyes shut. Nothing bothers him. And I'm telling you, if you do something you really hate, I promise you it will be temporary. Ask me how I know. So if it doesn't fit your personality and your style, don't do it. Here's a little. So you go, okay, Rick, well, how do I figure that out? Forget all the personality tests and stuff. I don't care. Like, you're not working for me. This isn't a job interview. Ask your spouse, ask your kids, because kids are brutally honest. Ask them what your superpower is. Ask them the favorite thing they love about you, other than just, being dad or mom, or just ask them what is my superpower. And I promise you in 5 seconds, they'll spit it out. So some of us are super funny. Some of us are very charismatic. Some of us have an incredible smile. Some of us have the ability to talk to any stranger, no matter what happens. Find out what it is and accent it. If you do not like talking to people on the phone, cold calling is not going to be your method. So the really cool thing is, in freewholesaling.com, we show you all the different methods. And my suggestion is to pick one that fits your style. Define your marketing budget. Very, very important. If you don't know how much money you have to spend, you cannot wholesale. Like, it's just, so a lot of people, well, I don't know, I'm going to wing it. I'm telling you, you can't wing it. Be honest with yourself. If you say you can only spend $500 a month, let's come up with the best plan for that 500. Guys, I started in less than 500 a month. I swear to you. I thought my wife's going to kill me when I spent that first, I think it was $350 is what I first did. So, and that I started with bandit signs, and I did a lot of networking. But some of you go, I got 10,000 a month. Like, if you're just starting out, come up with a number that you're comfortable with. Have a talk with your family, because you're just getting started. You can't just drop 10 grand in. It doesn't work that way, because you got to understand there's a bit of a learning curve. So I'd rather you work out. If you can start out 500. So the idea is to try to get a deal or two from that and work forward. Is it more challenging in small numbers? Yes. It's just the truth. Okay. You're going to need some sort of marketing budget. I will teach you sweat equity deals, but sweat equity, the word sweat is in there for a reason. Okay. Understand, guys, if you pay a coach, a guru, it's not going to guarantee you success. Full disclosure, I paid for a lot of coaches. Some of them were great. Some of them actually they didn't help. And just because they're a coach or guru doesn't guarantee your success. You have to understand your success lies in your hands. So if you pay someone or you don't, the end result is going to rely heavily on you. So many people think that if I hire someone, I just pay them, I pay them the money, then I'm good. Actually, the pressure goes on to you then. And it should be, because you have to do the work. Because if you don't do the work, your coach, just like a teacher said, you didn't put in the work. Like, you can't blame me. And I agree with that philosophy. So understanding, I don't care what method you pick. You do the free, you do the paid, whatever it is, you have to put in the work. And so many people put in and invest in somebody, and then they're disappointed. But you've got to be honest with yourself. Did I put in the work? And you got to know. So you have to study and practice your median method. So I always recommend to pick one and go deep. I don't care if it's direct mail, cold calling, SMS texting, RVM, whatever it is. Make sure it's legal in your state and practice. For some reason, everybody thinks they're a genius and they don't have to practice. I'm telling you right now, you got to practice. So if you wonder ever how an athlete gets really good, you didn't see the tens of thousands of hours they constantly shot the ball, they threw the ball, whatever it is. They just didn't get really good. Very few people are just naturally gifted when they do it. And even the naturally gifted ones, they get off subject and they don't get their point across. So you have to practice. How do I know you guys don't practice? Because when we do these lives, we do the cold calling, and I watch it with Zach, it's you can tell it. Now, you're in a safe place here, but I'd rather you practice with me, Zach, with your spouse, your kids, or whatever, before you actually do it with paying customers that you paid for leads on. Right? Makes sense, right? You do not want to practice on your hard paid lists and leads to have people hang up with you because you didn't know what you were talking about. So study, practice. We're almost done, guys. I promise. So most first deals come from one list and one marketing channel. Let me repeat this. Most first deals come from one list, one marketing channel, cold calling, and driving for dollars. How do I know this? Because I look at the stats, guys. I've looked at it in my business. I've looked at everybody I've worked with, and I'm telling you, if you're a beginner starting in 2022, driving for dollars it's like a shortcut to a list. I swear it is. To this day, I have my team go out at least once a week, collect addresses on a notepad, and we work them. And we skip trace them and we cold call them, and they are the hottest list we have. Does it take time? Yes. Is it work? Yes. But remember, if I had a list of 10,000 people of potential motivated sellers, and then you have a list of 300 of properties you drove by that looked really questionable, I'll take the 300 all day long. If I was in a pinch and I had 10 days to put a deal together, I would only do driving for dollars because it cuts through the chase. Is it scalable? Nah, not as much as scalable. It's challenging, but I'm just telling you today, it's not hard, guys. It's like, oh, I only got 20 or 30 addresses. We pick up hundreds of them. There's so many houses. You got to take different routes and learn. If you go to freewholesaling.com, we go into greater detail for you. Cold calling by far, I don't like it. I just tell you up front because I hate when people cold call me, but it's very, very effective. Is it getting much more saturated? Yes, but you just have to up your game. You got to learn to have conversations with people, and you have to connect with people that have an interest in selling your house. You can't waste time with people that just want to, tell you how pretty their flowers are. So, why is driving for dollars and cold calling? It's because it's easy and simple. Everybody knows how to do it. Not everybody wants to do it. Okay. It's driving for dollars is the least competitive list you will ever face. Let me repeat. Driving for dollars is the least competitive list because nobody else wants to do it. Everybody talks about it, But like if I get a room of 500 investors and say, hey, listen, who's got a list for driving for dollars right now? I less than 5% of them ever put up their hand. So, and guys, it's free. Yes, it's going to cost you time, a little bit of gas in the car. I know gas is a little bit higher now, but I promise you it's going to be much cheaper than a lot of these lists that you guys pay for. If you have a subscription service, that's great. Utilize that. But guys, don't completely rely on list services alone. So there's just no excuses. It's numbers oriented. Guys, cold calling, driving for dollars, I just absolutely love it. In my opinion, it's almost impossible not to get a deal if you work the system, you take a ton of action over the next 90 days using those two strategies. That's what I would do, and that's what I teach people who just get started out. Now, it's not a one size fits all. I get it. Some of you can cold call. That's it. We talk about other strategies. Freewholesaling.com. We go through it. Other great channels. I started out doing bandit signs. We used to have them printed. And if you guys ever had bandit signs sit in the back of your car overnight, you'll understand how foul. The smell is terrible. That UV ink is actually toxic and poison. So if you guys are putting them in your car, try to put them in the back of the truck. Try to put them outside or in your garage and then load it in your car, because after like an hour, you will get a headache. I promise you. So I love bandit signs. And then I stopped doing bandit signs. And then when Zach was in high school, he says, what can I try? I go, well, you can try this. I just stopped doing it. It just doesn't really work anymore for me. He did it. He wound up getting like 7 deals right off the bat while he was in high school. So as soon as I said, hey, it didn't work, Zach goes, hey, let me try it. I just want you to understand, when you open up your mind, a lot of things can happen. JVing with people. A lot of you guys are really good connecting with motivated sellers, but you don't have the funds or the means necessary to close on them. I prefer you set the ability to fund or transact on a wholesale deal prior to getting it under contract. Let me repeat. You guys, you got to do a little homework and make sure you have the ability to close on these contracts. I do not want to be stringing out homeowners. Yes, there is some instances where some deals just don't work out. There's more issues with the house. They weren't honest with you. That's part of the business. But JVing is a wonderful tool to help solve that, and you can utilize that. Cold calling government lists. You guys hear Zach talk about this endlessly. Water shutoffs, code violations, liens, etc. I absolutely love it. Door knocking. I actually started out doing door knocking. I'm good at door knocking. It doesn't bother me, but we're in a different world now. You guys got these Ring doorbells, and if someone's got a great way to overcome the Ring doorbell, because honestly, I look at my Ring doorbell, someone comes to my door. So it's like, I'm not opening the door if I don't know who it is. So we're in a different world. But on pre-foreclosures are very hot leads. It's the fastest way to connect with them. You guys got to comply with laws, and you got to be respectful of their people's homes. So I'm not a big fan of someone knocking on my door. So, and the other one is FSBOs. They still work because they have an intent to sell the house. You just have to find out if there's any motivation. Guys, I want you to understand, people never just roll over and tell you their motivation in like 10 seconds of meeting you. They're going to tell you the best about it. So FSBOs, you have to be much more patient. If I see a FSBO sitting on the market 3, 4, 6 months, I know there's an issue. Either it's overpriced, or they're hiding something, or maybe they just don't even want to sell it. And you get a lot of that with FSBOs, and that's why a lot of people get driven nuts. But I've seen a lot of you that are persistent and you're looking for sweat equity deals. FSBOs don't cost you anything. Just go to Zillow, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and there's plenty of them there. So we're almost done here. So create your plan. You got to pick your market. You got to declare your marketing median. So is it going to be cold calling? Are you going to go door knocking? Is it going to be bandit signs? Is it going to be direct mail? Whatever it is. You have to have a budget. Okay. You can't do this without a budget, guys. You're running a business. So I tell people to plan for 12 months, because anybody who goes in the wholesaling saying, okay, I'm just going to figure out the first quarter and go from there, you might as well leave now. I'm just telling you, the business has its ups and downs. Over 12 months, you'll be a very happy person. 3 months, sometimes it frustrates you a little bit. So give yourself 12 months. So if your plan is to spend $500 a month, I want you from January to December, put $500 on sheet. And then every month you're going to put your forecasted, and then you're going to put your actual. And that's how you keep track. You have to do it. Guys, when I used to spend money on marketing, I used to like cringe. Like, oh my God. Like I used to have like my gut used to drop. Now that I've learned, I know exactly what my ROI is after doing this 20 years is I get ticked off if the marketing doesn't get done right away. My job still to this day, okay, guys, I do this 20 years. I oversee the marketing budget and I make sure the team implements it. And if there's any snafu, I lose it. I don't lose it. I just push it because if I know if I spend $3, $5, $6,000, whatever it is we spend, I know what I'm going to make back in return. So if I don't invest my marketing money, I have no chance of wholesaling houses. So understanding if you do not spend any type of marketing money, and there's always type of marketing money, even if you do sweat equity, it might be gas in your car, it might be paying someone to collect addresses for you, whatever it is. You guys got to get a CRM. This is really, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Go to freewholesaling.com. We teach you how to use it. We recommend use Podio. They have a free version or a paid version, which I think is like $12 or $14. Do not overcomplicate it. The most important part is that you set up a follow-up system, and they're not hard to do. Zach goes into great detail. I think he did a 2 or 3 hour training on this, and it's all in freewholesaling.com. So the next step is pull your list. I didn't get deep in the list because I'm just trying to get you started. You're going to pull lists. These are your lists that you pay for. So you can either use a marketing service to get you the list, or you guys, you can use somebody else to get it. Some lists you can get for free. You can get lists from your county. We talked about the government list, whatever it is. Guys, get a list and manage it. Most services offer you 10,000 free leads with the service. We use listrei.com. That's through our PropStream, and we use it in our business. I don't recommend anything me and Zach we don't use in our business. So, but it's cool because to me, it's the best value for the market. $97 to get 10,000 leads. Sign me. I was like blown away when we first started using it. So, hold on. I can't see the bottom slide here. Set up technologies for easy management. I'm not going that. I'm not the most technological guy, but what do we mean by that? Google Drive, Google Sheets, sharing links in your CRM. You can work with people across the country. There's so many ways to communicate with people. WhatsApp app, FaceTime is one of our favorites. So I don't like to complicate it, like super simple. I just don't like a million texts. It drives me nuts. Clearly define your goals for income, which is a big part of your why, because that's going to keep you on the days that you just don't feel like doing it. Wholesaling is a lot like working out. There's just going to be days you don't want to do it, but you've got to understand your why is never going to be achieved if you don't do it. And that's why you got to have a strong why. And place a time on your goals. It is critical. Now, it's a goal. So if you set a goal to do your first deal within 90 days and it takes you 120 days, don't beat yourself up. It happens. I've seen people get a deal in like 3 or 4 days. I've seen people wait a year. Different markets, different strategies. There's like no one size that fits all. So I'm almost done. I promise, Sam. Hold on. So on appointments, define what your strategy is. I like belly to belly because they are the highest profitable deals. What do I mean by belly to belly? When you're standing in front of me and somebody, because yes, if you can do a virtual deal and take them down the phone, it is the most efficient way, but you lose the biggest and most important aspect of this business. Most communication is nonverbal, and you can't get that on the phone. So I've tried it with video. It's just not as sticking. So when you get the belly belly, you can watch people. You can watch their eyes, their facial expression, and on the phone it's a little bit more challenging. So consider your overall strategy, especially in virtual market. You're going to have to be a great phone person on virtual market. You will really have to up your phone skills. So make sure you revisit your phone systems. You have to have a good phone system, not just your cell phone. Guys, this is actually one of the cheapest part of the strategies. What do I recommend to use? I started out the first 10 years using a service called the Vumber. So VUMBER.com. And it was very antiquated, but I got a virtual phone number. I think it was $10 a month, and it did just fine. You guys can use Google Voice. Just make sure it doesn't have the announcement Google Voice on it because it churns sellers off. Okay. You can use more advanced tools like CallRail, stuff like that. The beauty of them is you can record the calls. Someone will transcribe them. Why is that important? Because when you're running around, say you're working a full-time job, it's nice to look at a transcribed voicemail if that's what you had to do. Or sometimes you're talking to someone and you don't have the ability to write down the addresses, take the information. If you record the call, you can go back and play it and slow it down and get all that information. It might actually save a deal from you. I've learned this. I fought this forever, and it works. And then once you bring people in to help you out, you can listen to the quality of calls. And last but not least, practice, practice. Who said it? Who said it on? Oh, it was the Colts. No. It was the basketball player on the Philadelphia Sixers, I think. We talking about practice? We talking about practice? Yes, you got to practice, guys. Otherwise, it will speed up your process. So, and last but not least, you got to be a follow-up master. So let's go over a couple quick warnings. Do not overstretch yourself. Okay. If you find yourself working 15, 16 hours a day, you're doing something wrong. Okay. Nobody got in this business to kill themselves, and especially in the beginning. So don't feel like you got to climb the mountain in one day. Okay. 90 days is more than enough time for you to get your feet settled and get going. Number two, dude, have fun, man. I see so many people around wholesaling like it's torture. If you can't have fun with you, dude, don't do it. Life's too short for this stuff. Have fun with your sellers. Have fun with your buyers. Have fun with your team. Heck, have fun with your spouse and your kids while you do it. If you have the right why, it's fun. If you don't have a why, it's torture, in my opinion. So carefully pick your marketing medium that fits you. Find out what your superpower is. Ask your family and use it. God gave it to you. He made you unique. Use it. I know how to connect with people. It's what I'm best at. And that's why I'm talking to you right here. And that's what set me apart in wholesaling. Am I great on the phone making thousands of calls? No, it's torture. I don't like doing it. My son, it's like he didn't care. He did it in his college dorm room like it was going out of style. Focus on your goals you set. You got to have them written down. Here's a little tip, what I used a long time, and I've used this in my fitness journey in the last few years. You guys have a bathroom mirror. You got to stare at it every day, right? Yeah, I mean, and I think sometimes you guys look at the mirror more than the girls, but don't use a Sharpie, use a dry erase marker and write your stuff up there. So I wrote my why up there. My wife thought I was crazy. It works, man. I'm telling you, it works because you got to look at it every day. Okay. So you got to focus on your goals. And remember, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. For those of you that think you can take a shortcut and you can cheat to the front of the line and just like make a ton of money, I promise you, you will be disappointed. This takes time. It takes work. So many people advertise it. It's, get rich quick scheme. It's not. You've got to put in the time. There's no way around it. You can occasionally win a sprint, but the guy or gal that's going to run the marathon will crush you. They might take longer, but they'll assess a better skill set and a better system over the long run. So think about any good business you've seen, and you've got to understand it. And guys, that is it. This is what I would do if I had to get my first wholesaling deal in 2022, starting right away. There's so much more. If you guys want to learn more, just go over to freewholesaling.com. And we designed this course because you guys don't want to sit in here and hear me for 15 hours. It gets boring. So I try to make this somewhat entertaining, so you just don't have to sit there and stare at my mug all day. So let me get to a couple comments, and then we will start jumping in. Now, here's how it works on the live. Think about your questions. I'm doing this for free, and let's be productive. So if you have a question and I can help you, great. If it's relative to the whole audience, that would be great. And just try to be respectful of other people's times. You guys know I answer the questions, but when you do 6 or 7 questions, like, we got to be fair to everybody on it. So I want to help out as many people as possible. I will answer any reasonable question. That's fair to say. This is live, so like anything can happen, but let's keep it about wholesaling. Let's have fun with it. And let me just look at the comments, and then Peter, I got you up first, and then I got Sam. So Peter, I don't see much activity on your thing here. So I want to make sure you're there when I call you. So let's see here. I told you guys, if you want to join, we got enough people here. It's probably going to be full. So, okay, let's go. So guys, you can use this chat to work with other people. And I am going to go over our JV program. We just updated it. It's really cool what we're doing, and we're taking your guys' feedback on current deals we're working on now. And I promise you, on about 20 minutes, I'll go in a little bit further detail. Or if somebody wants to talk about a deal, as long as we don't share the address publicly, we can talk about it, and I'll tell you how to submit it. So, Peter, I'm pulling you up. Let me know if you're there, buddy. Peter. Okay, Peter, I'll come back to you. Sam, you're up, bud. What's going on, Sam?
Hola. Hey, can you hear me?
How you doing, man? Where you at?
So listen, I'm from Fort Pierce, okay?
All right.
St. Lucie County in the house.
Well, why don't you just walk on over?
So I'm actually coming, once I get off this call, I live in South Georgia. So one of my questions was, so first off, I'm driving down. Once this is over, I'm driving to Port St. Lucie tonight anyway. I'll be down there for the weekend. But one of my questions is, you talked about driving for dollars. I'm new to this area. The streets that I know best are St. Lucie County streets. So, I guess my question is what would your thoughts be on that? Like, should I get to know this area best? Because I live in Georgia and I've seen some information like, hey, you might need a closing attorney. You might not be able to do this legally. You might.
So let me ask you, what brought you to the area?
Work. I was working for UPS. I'm a network administrator for UPS, and truthfully, my why is to get away from that.
Okay, so perfect. So you got your why. I mean, you're in my backyard, so like you ain't the first one to be in the backyard, but like honestly, driving for dollars is kind of easy over here. It's really like honestly one of the best ways, if you guys are doing for driving for dollars and you're new to an area, is using your internet and just using like a Google imaging and looking at neighborhoods where there's a huge pack of houses. So St. Lucie County should be hard because it's about 90% residential.
I'm loading.
You there?
I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're cutting out on me.
Okay. I think it disconnected from the internet.
Honestly, I would just do like a Google imaging thing. I don't want to give you like particular city, like street by street, because you're going to get like 100 people coming behind you. So what I would do is I would start with a Google image, and then I would go out like after you're doing working and just start driving an area and look for it. So you can use the internet to find out your median prices. You can find out cash sales. You can find out a ton of information. Heck, you can use Zillow, guys. It's really not hard. And you can start to figure it out. What you want to do is stay at the median price range or below when you're starting out. You do not want to get in. So if the median price range is $250,000, you don't want to get in those $600,000 houses. It's just a very hard start. But I mean, Fort Pierce is wonderful. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. It's really good. So
I'm going to drop the dollars in my hometown.
Yeah. So there's a lot of expansion. Also, you can look it up. I'm going to give you one little cheat sheet because you were first. Okay. There's a very, very expensive surf park they're building in Fort Pierce. You can look it up.
Yeah, I just saw.
It's like the only one in the southeast. It's crazy, and they're developing like multi-million-dollar like waterfront properties. But when these communities come, everything in the outlying reaches just explodes. And another thing in Fort Pierce is you work for UPS. You know that Amazon dropped like a big hub there, and it just exploded the rentals. So here's another little one. Anytime you can drive within like 10 minutes of a Home Depot or a Walmart, to me, it's a great area for wholesaling. So it's I like driving for dollars, man. Like I'm telling you, we're probably going to come up with some of the same lists.
That's gonna I'm really gonna. I've committed to driving for dollars and cold calling. I'm pretty good talking on the phone. My other question is, like you said about stringing along sellers. I don't really know. I've seen a lot of information on how to build up leads, but I haven't seen a lot of information on how to build up cash buyers list.
Okay, so go to freewholesaling.com and I explain it in like grave detail there. It's just too much to do. I'm going to spend 30 minutes and we're going to take up a ton of time.
Okay.
I will tell you this. whoever came up with this idea of build your giant cash buyers list, then go find a deal, you just tick people off when you do that.
Okay.
So you're better off putting your resources to finding a motivated seller and then working lightning fast on getting a cash buyer.
Okay.
The problem is you go out and get 300 buyers and you don't have a deal. They're going to discredit you and you have to do it all over again. And it just gets tiring. So every now and then you can handpick 10 or 12 people. One of the easiest cash buyers list I always tell people is just buy a couple signs, put out a bandit sign, and just say, you know, you can build a cash buyers list on that. But I don't like doing it without having a deal. I don't like lying to people, Sam.
Yeah,
I don't.
me neither.
I can't do it. So go try to find someone you can help and build value in them.
Yes, sir.
But just, I always tell people, I A for effort tuning in on this, but make sure you fine tune your strategy because so many people are out there just locking up contracts. They don't negotiate them. And because I get them all the time, they're like, hey, Rick, you know, will you buy this deal? I'm like, there's no money in it. I can't buy it. If there's no money in it, you will never attract a cash buyer. So you're better off fighting the fight up front and getting the right price. The right price means you just spend time with people. You spend time with them. It's not uncommon to spend 4 or 5 hours with a seller with us.
Okay.
I'd rather put that time in than spend 15 hours like being beat up by cash buyers saying I don't have a good deal. So a lot of the stuff's in freewholesaling.com. I mean, I hate that like over and over.
I've been logged in on my iPad watching it for like, that's what I've been logged into for the last like 3 or 4 days, trying to, like I said, drive for dollars, develop that list, get some leads and start doing that. And I just wanted to know that part. Maybe one day when I come down, we'll bump into y'all. I know y'all like the Dolphins. I got a few friends who play for the Dolphins. So maybe we can introduce y'all.
We got some other stuff working too. It's pretty interesting, but I'm a diehard Dolphin fan, so it's been painful, but I still love them. So.
I was trying to get in contact with you guys so much that I had one of my buddies who played for the Dolphins reach out to you guys on y'all Instagram.
Okay, well, just send us a message. Dude, I'm all about like starstruck. Like I love football. I love wrestling. I love high school. I love college wrestling. I do this just so I can have like free time. So I'm doing exactly what you do. I didn't start till I was 33. I just got a rude wake up call. I'm like, I don't want this the rest of my life. This is going to suck. Yeah. So I put in the time and the pain, but like here I am 20 years later, Sam, and I really enjoy it. Like I really like, I couldn't imagine doing anything else with my life right now. It's just fun. So look me up, connect with me. You can find me on Facebook. Like Flip with Rick. Zach is much more of the social media. He's good with that stuff. I'm not as quick, so I apologize because half the time I don't even know how to open my phone. So it's like I have somebody who helps me out with it. But yeah, I love that stuff, man. So
I really appreciate y'all. I really, really appreciate it. Like I've been trying to get information like you guys provide for like a year and a half, and when I stumbled across y'all and he said Port St. Lucie, I knew it was a sign from God. So thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You're in a wonderful area. So like just, you know, within 20, 30 miles of the area, you'll be fine. I'm just telling you. So
thank you, man.
Okay, Sam. Have a good one, bud. Keep us updated.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see. Charlene, are you there? I see your queue, but it says you're disconnected. So if you come back on, I will put you on. And I am working through here. Javier, are you there? Javier? So guys, I don't care if you put your face on there or not, but like when you show your face, I know you're ready to come and do it. So I don't hear you. I'll put you back in the queue. You guys got to be ready because I try to help out as many people as I can. Trevor, I'm coming to you. You ready? What's up, Trevor?
Okay. How you doing?
Where you at?
So I am in Staten Island, New York. It's one of the 5 boroughs in New York City.
What's the temperature there?
Right now it's like 20-something degrees. It's pretty cold over here. So I'm thinking of doing virtual because from what I've heard, New York City isn't one of the most ideal places to do like driving for dollars.
I agree.
I know one of the like honorable mentions was Rochester. I follow the Flip with Rick website, so I'm trying to get through all the videos, and
Okay.
I've been like taking notes and jotting down questions for anything
Good.
I was not sure about.
Okay. What can I help you with?
So as far as closing costs, I know that the buyer pays for the closing costs typically. Would you include the cost of closing in the contract with the assignment fee?
Dude, Trevor, great question. Okay. So here's how this works. Unfortunately, every state's a little bit different on how closing
Okay.
costs work. So number one, try to meet with a title company that will work with an investor so you can get educated what the norm is. Do not have your customer educate you because it will kill the deal. Okay.
Okay.
It is just a math problem, by the way. It's not really complicated. It's like they charge fees. So there's going to be government fees to record the transaction. And then you're going to have title fees for the people to facilitate it. And then they have what they call a title insurance. Title insurance is the same thing across the country. It's an insurance policy. If you buy a house for 100,000, if there's a claim against it or it was a defective title, you get your 100 grand back. Everybody wants it. So those are the only three costs that are really associated. I believe in the state there's some states that require an attorney, some states don't. I did an entire video on this.
Yeah.
I don't feel an attorney is required unless there's a real big complication. So when it comes down to closing costs, is a lot of people say, we'll pay all your closing costs. It's very confusing. So here's my theory on it. It's very simple. If somebody makes a deal very easy for me and they leave enough room in it and they've made your life easy, make their life easy.
And cover the closing.
If they beat you up and push you to the limit, don't include the closing cost. On average, a closing cost is anywhere from 1.5 to like just over 2%. So if I buy a house for 100,000, it's about a $2,000 cost. Now, if I'm buying a house worth 100,000 and he or she's giving me for like 40 or 50 grand, I'm not going to sit there and nickel and dime them. But if they drag me out and keep raising the price, I treat it like a regular transaction to a point. So people that make your life easy and make it good, you can offer to pay for it. Here's the deal. When you assign it, the end buyer is just paying it. I will tell you this. If you have a deal where you're not assuming the closing cost, you can actually get a little bit more from your buyer because they appreciate that. But remember, you're paying more for the deal too. So every state has customaries when it comes to closing, and then every county is like a little bit different. So whatever market you pick, make sure you get familiar with it. And then number two, I know it's competitive in New York, but how old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay. So did you grow up in New York?
I was born in Jersey, grew up in New York.
Okay. So you know the area pretty well, right?
More or less, yeah.
You would kick my butt if I went to New York to try to find a deal because I don't know the area. So don't ever forget the area where you grew up and where you're living and where you're hanging with everybody. Because when a deal comes up, as you get more educated, you'll know value. You go, oh my God, I'd buy that for that. And because some of my favorite places to get deals, bartenders are my favorite bird doggers. They know everybody's problem. They'll tell you who's in foreclosure, who's breaking up who hasn't made a mortgage payment. And I take care of them. You can give them a marketing fee. It's perfectly legal. You can't pay them on the HUD, but always look in your backyard and then pick your virtual market, pick it carefully and make sure it's business decision. Unless you grew up somewhere or say you went to college and you know the area very well. I'm not a big fan of college towns for wholesaling because it's a pain in the butt. There's it's nuts. So what else you got?
Could you put in I would think I want to pick a virtual market first before I go trying to find a title company. So I want to get sure that that's the market I want to stay with and then find a title company before I go and find a deal in that market. This way I have that, I guess, safe area to fall back. I know I've got a closing company that I can work with. Could I put as my earnest deposit that it's due at the close of escrow? This way I don't need to put it up front.
Okay, so good question. Trevor's done his homework. I appreciate it. So everybody says, well, you need to have a deposit. Technically, I'm giving you a technical answer. It doesn't. You technically don't have to leave an earnest money deposit. The problem comes in if somebody wants to unwind your deal. That's where the problem
Okay.
is. I've done probably $500-600, 500-600 deals without a deposit. Now, it was a different world when I started. I'm going to tell you, it was easier and harder at the same time, right? So whatever you agree on the contract, if you agree to it, it's legit. The problem becomes when they start talking to a neighbor or a family member or even like a realtor, and they go, well, he didn't leave a deposit. He or she's not serious. I think they're BSing you. And that's the challenge with the no. You can agree to whatever you want terms. But here at the end of the day, Trevor, they have to show up to the closing table. And if they don't feel comfortable and they don't feel like you answered all their questions, they will bail on you.
Gotcha.
Okay. So understanding, I want you to understand, like a deposit money, it's never really at risk if you do it correctly. So if you have an inspection period or some sort of clause, listen, if they're hiding something from me, I want out and I want my deposit money back. To this day, I will fight for $500. Now, here's my rule. If I have a smoking deal, say you're getting something 50 cents on the dollar and everyone's happy with it, go find somewhere to put down like a bigger deposit because you want it to stick. You're getting the money back. Who cares?
Okay.
I'm in a position I can leave whatever deposit someone asks for. I don't care because if you put it in escrow is nothing more than a third party, usually the title company, and it has to follow the terms of the contract. So they can't take your money, nor can you take their money. Okay?
Okay.
If it's a really shaky deal and they're beating you up and they're being squirrely, make the deposit very minimum. Just like I'm telling you right now, if I have a shaky deal, I'll sometimes put down $100 and just call it a day. In the old days, I used to this was way back. We used to hand them $100 and take a picture of them with it. I don't ever do that. I wouldn't give the money to the seller. But do you understand what I'm saying? If you have a really good deal, you want to make sure they come to the closing table because you don't want to lose it. There's nothing worse than having a smoking deal and you leave like a $10 deposit and they call you back 3 days later and they go, and you've already spent the money mentally, it will break your heart, dude. I'm telling you. So there's something about people feel legitimate when you do a deposit. I agree with it. So if I'm selling something, I always want a deposit. So, but some houses, they're so rough and stuff like that, you don't even know if it's going to stick, and they don't even know if you're going to be able to follow through. Then that's where I would go with like a lower deposit, and from there. But the title company part's kind of easy. So like, don't spend a lot of energy on that. Just use some of the keywords, assignments, double closing, and just see how they respond. Like some of them throw a temper tantrum. It's really funny. So anything else?
Yes. I know you say always go for a no when you're trying to set a deal with the seller. Should you go for a no and highball the buyer and try to maximize that profit margin with the assignment fee?
Okay, so the buyer and the seller are completely separate discussions.
Yeah.
Okay. The seller, you're going for no because you want to get the best deal possible. And some sellers will play games with you and some will be brutally honest with you. The toughest seller I have to deal with is when I ask them, what do you think the value of your house is? Like, if I get into that thing, they're like, Rick, I don't know. Either they're lying to you or they flat out don't know. Most people can click a button and find out the value. And that part's frustrating. And that's why you go for a no, because I've had examples where I've left so much money on the table and it feels like you get you get kicked in the gut when you do that. Whereas if I knew, they go, no. Say I offer you $110,000 for your house and you just put your hand out and shake it right away. It's like the worst feeling. It's like, I'd rather of like, oh, and then I do it very passively when I do. I go, would you consider, like, don't shoot me, but like, I know you don't want to side, but you're not giving me any numbers. Would you take 50 and just go? And then if they go, are you crazy, Trevor? I go, I
didn't think so.
I didn't think you'd take that anyways, but like, we got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
With that being said, and remember, I just teach you to volley back and forth. It works on everyone other than people you date. Don't do it there because I tried it with my wife. It doesn't work. So when they give you an answer that's kind of BS, well, listen, Mr. Seller, I know you don't know, but if you had to guess, what do you think you need to get for the house? And if you keep serving the ball back after 2 times, they will typically answer you. Most people give up after the first time or two. When it comes to selling it, you're stone cold, man. Like you are not selling them. You just they give you a number, and
take
I
it.
always. So when I started out doing it, I told people what my number is, and if you didn't give me my number, you didn't get to talk to me anymore.
Okay.
It's a bold move, but if you know your numbers. But when I started, dude, I didn't have a lot of money and I didn't have time to risk, so I knew my numbers were low. What I know now, like we just put a property on the market. We had a really good week this week. We put it on the market. I trust other people to put a price, and so I don't even get involved. But it got bidded up on 9 buyers. And here's what we do: we find the 2 or 3 strongest. And so if you got 2 or 3 strong buyers, here's all I say to them. And Mr. Buyer, I go, I like what you're bringing here. I like everything you're doing. I know you offered me 110,000. If you could do like 114, I'll get the deal done right now. Good cop, bad cop works awesome on sellers. But remember, you push people too far, you will kick them to the curb. Because when people do it to me, I get really, it annoys me, but I use it in my business. And if it annoys me, I know it works. So if you don't have any buyers and you're not getting the correct work, it usually means you have it priced wrong. It's just the truth. So like you're not going for a no with the buyer. You just make them an offer and you just get the highest and best. Everybody likes to go to eBay for the buy it now price because they don't feel like they have competition for it. They don't give you the price you need. Let the games begin, right? So a lot of them will send over contracts. One party doesn't sign it and they try to obligate you. So, but you do not go for a no on the like this. It's to me, it's like yes or no. And then you'll teach people a lesson when they screw with you. But remember, you only need one buyer.
Yeah.
And remember, what's your ideal buyer, Trevor?
My ideal buyer?
What's the ideal buyer? Is it the guy that buys 500 houses a year?
No.
No, you don't want him, dude. Actually, you probably want to get rid of him as fast as you can. You want someone that's got cash and wants to close on the property. Maybe they're buying it for their son or their kid. And a guy who likes to pick up 1 or 2 rehabs a year, they usually pay the most because they don't want to play games on MLS and want to cut to it. The guy who buys 500, he's trying to buy 20 other houses, and it's all about price and nothing else.
Gotcha.
Got it? So do not use that strategy on sellers. It's only on the buyer. I mean, on the seller, not the buyer. I apologize.
I got what you're saying.
Okay.
What is so if the house has a lien on it, what is that cause some sort of issue as far as the contract goes? Like, what do you do in that situation?
So here's the beautiful. If you guys are just starting out, do not spend energy and time on it because you don't know. So if you have a motivated seller, they'll typically tell you, hey, I got this lien from, listen, most of them know what their value, like how much equity they have in their house. But like, if the motivation's there, the price is right. If a lien comes back, the title company will tell you, and it's up to them to work it out with the title company. If, say, the lien exceeds the equity in the house, it's a perfect leveraging tool to renegotiate with them. You're actually helping them out.
Wait, you said, shoot, where's my pen? I want to write that.
Well, this is recorded, so you can go back and
that's perfect. That's perfect.
Do not sit there and try to be an attorney. Don't try to be a title company.
Okay.
Learn to work with people. Learn to talk to them. Help them solve a problem. And I can't tell you how many times, like, I've had $100,000 liens pop up, and it's like, you still have it under contract, but now they're going to be forced to, they're going to have to open back up negotiations because I didn't know this. If you told me it up front, I knew it. And sometimes they thought the lien was 50 grand. It winds up being 80 grand, 90 grand. And all I can tell you this, if they're getting 0 or they're losing money, they probably won't do the deal with you. So you got to have like some common sense approach when you do it. So I'd say 80% of the people know. The ones they don't know is when it's like a code violation. So if you've got a rough beat up house, all the people, they ignore the notices. I had one grass cut last year. The gentleman died. It was a probate, and she contacted us. We were buying the house. They gave her a $32,000 code violation because it was $100 a day. And she cut the lawn, did everything, but she didn't call to reinspect. And the woman was like 76 years old. We were able to work with the title company. We got it down to $3,000, but it took an extra 2 months to do it. But it was the right thing to do. We helped her out. We got a deal. She was happy. She got free of it. And the neighbors got like a nicer house. So
I think the last question I have.
last question,
What is
Trevor. I got to help
T?
some more people out here. So
All
let's
right, I'm
go.
sorry.
It's
I'm sorry.
okay.
T3 and T12 trailing 3 trailing. What does that mean? What is that?
I don't know. What do you mean
Okay,
T3, T12?
I don't know. When I was watching through the video about different like abbreviations for terminologies, in the description under the video was T3 and T12 listed,
I'll
and
have
that
to
was
look
one
it
thing
up.
I.
Was it one of my
All right,
videos or Zach's or?
it was on the flipwithrick.com.
Okay. I'll make a note of it and I'll try to put a post on it. Maybe I had to do
Okay,
something with 3 months or 12 months, but I don't know it
okay.
offhand, but I'll try to get a better answer for you. So,
Thank you so much for your time, and I
okay. Keep us
appreciate you
updated.
following
Stay
up.
warm. It's
All right,
76 here in Florida. So, but you're sending your weather
all
this
right.
way. So don't do it. Okay. I'll see you, bud. Good luck, Trevor.
All right.
Nice meeting you. Javier, are you there?
Yeah,
I
can you
just
hear
saw
me?
you. Yeah, I hear you. I
Yeah.
don't see you though.
Oh shoot, I didn't expect to be on. Okay.
That's okay. It's up to
Yeah.
you if you want to be on.
Alright.
You know, guys, by the way, you don't have to show your face on it. I promise you. Okay. You do not have to show your face. And those of you that are new to the channel, if you could hit the subscribe button, that way you know when these lives come, you can participate and you can plan ahead. So I know I spoke to Javier before. I believe you're in California, right?
Oh no, I'm in San Antonio, man. This is
Okay,
my
well, I
first time
messed
on
that
here.
up. So I do not have my son's photographic memory. Kind of shows my age. So
Yeah, it's all good.
what can I do for you, man?
All right, so I'm trying to like niche out my operation right now because San Antonio is kind of a saturated market. So I'm actually trying to go for these mobile homes. And
Okay.
so I was just wondering if like the land under the mobile home, if it's owned by like the trailer park, can I still wholesale it? Would that like impact it at all?
You can, but it 9 times out of 10 it kills the deal
Oh, okay.
because the land that the problem with is so most mobile home parks have like a master land lease, and then they designate maybe there's 100 spots and 100 trailers, and they make their money on those master leases. And as they turn over, they just keep raising them up. Or all they are is typically land banking. And one day when that property is worth a lot, a developer will come in and develop the whole thing and pay them typically millions of dollars. And that's typically what they're doing. So you got to understand they've set up the infrastructure, the sewers, the water, and we have 1 million of them here. So unless you can buy the entire park, my favorite are mobile homes that they own the land under it. It's
Yeah.
perfect. What you do have to watch for mobile homes, they're not quite like single family houses. Most trailers are actually titled through the department, the DMV. So you actually have to get like the sale of the mobile home. You still have to get it registered with the DMV, even though you're buying the deed to the land. It's really weird. I just got called to the table on a bunch of on my own, and I didn't even know it. So like I told you, you're gonna learn something new every day in this business.
Yeah.
So I buy mobile homes based on cash flow and cash flow only. I don't even care what they're worth. So if it rents for $1,000 a month, I can just do a math problem, and you can calculate your ROI very, very simply. You just take the net. You take your rents, you minus off the expenses, and you figure out what the net is, and then you can figure out what type of return you get. Mobile homes, if I'm not getting like 25%, I won't even touch it because
All right.
you're going to have a little bit more drama if you even decide to be honest with you, you can find a way to own them. Like, to give you an example, I recently bought a package of mobile homes, way undervalued. They were renting for 300 or 400. We're talking about Sam, like UPS. I've got Amazon operating a distribution center just down the street, and me and Zach went all in, and so we bought them. And now the same ones are renting for 1,200.
I know. I heard they're like amazing cash flow. That's why I'm trying to
But here's the problem: for the last 20 years, they were getting 300 a month, and they couldn't give them away. And now I think I paid 10 grand for it, and I paid myself back in basically 1 year.
That's crazy.
So like, honestly, I look at those, and most of them, people are really wide open to doing creative financing strategies, wide open. Like you are not going to get a bank loan for these things. There's no way in heck. They're not going to do it. And your worst case scenario is if they own the land, and when mobile homes They go up in value, but the physical asset itself depreciates just like it does your car. So it's actually easier just to tow that one out of there and hook up a new one. So like right now for me to replace that mobile home, it's like 60 to 70 grand. But my rent's already 1,200. So I'm at risk if I get hit by a hurricane because they're not really insured for that. But like I can stroke a check and just replace it. And then when I get that one, I'll probably get 1,600 and do it that way. That's why if you own the land, you have the option to do it. So it's everybody goes after the trailer park, which is great. If you can do that, it's a lot of work and you got to understand what you're doing. But if you can find a community where they own the individual lots, they're like golden. Like it's, and keep in mind, I did this all within the last year. And I didn't do this 10 years. If I did this 10 years ago, I would have made out like a bandit. And then once I found a community and I found a couple to buy, then I got a team and we just went door to door. Door to door in mobile homes is very, very powerful. Very, like crazy powerful. And you go, hey, listen, I just contracted the one on this street, and they're like, oh, what'd you buy it for? And you just start talking to them, and they're like, yeah, I'm thinking about moving. And the problem is most people in mobile homes, it's affordable living. So if they give that up, they better have a good plan.
Yeah. I heard bandit signs are like really good there too.
Well, they all got to drive by it. So it's very, very simple. It's weird. We put for rent signs out. My property manager does, and he gives me leads all the time off the for rent signs too. So that might be like a reverse marketing trend you can do.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, listen, you guys buy mobile homes. I see you do rentals. So I'm not asking you to lie to people, but I'm just telling you if you have a rental in that area, a lot of times that works as well too. So I was here's the truth to it. I mean, I was very, I was just blind to it. And mobile homes were beneath me. It was just stupid. It was stupid thinking. And I regret it for all those years. I used to get a mobile home all the time. People like, give me $3,000 for it. I'm like, what are you, crazy? And they were still renting for $300 and $400. And they still would have been a good return. I was just getting better returns on single family houses. Now it's flipped. For me, particularly in the area of Port St. Lucie, to buy a single family home and rent it, I would lose my butt. Like, I don't know how landlords do it. If you got to pay $200,000 for like an average home and they rent for like $1,800, plus they're old, they need new roofs. How do you make money on it? Plus the taxes is like $6,000-$7,000 a year. So for that reason, I like cash flow. And the beauty thing about mobile homes is you don't have to comp them. Like, don't comp them. You're wasting your time. You just run the cash flow numbers and sell it based on cash flow. And every mobile home I sold, so I bought the one next door to the one I owned. I picked the new double wide, and the one next to me, it was in such rough shape. Honestly, I just wanted to get out of the contract. The lady begged us to take it. And I put out a sign, and we had like 30 people deep for owner financing. And that one will pay me for the next 15 years. It's like, wow. And I made up some ridiculous price, and they paid me for it, and I didn't have to fix up. I don't like fixing up houses if you haven't figured that out yet. I hate doing it. It's a job. I don't care who you hire. You got to pay attention. So yeah, mobile homes, I discounted them when they came in my funnel. I want everybody to understand on this stream. If you have mobile home stuff like that, look at them because they work now, because they are the new affordable housing. Also, Javier, look at townhomes. Townhomes are wonderful.
I heard about those.
Even condos. Condos have an inherent risk with the HOA. They are a pain in the butt, I'll tell you right now. But let me give you an example right now, okay? I just did a deal today. I didn't do it, but Zach and his team did it. We got I believe it's just I think it was a condo. I've never even seen the dang thing. So the problem is they have an application process. Whatever, you pay $150. Here's the best part is you have to physically sit down, not only do a background check, but you have to sit in front of a board. Guess what? The board only meets once a month. And guess what happens during the C word time? Someone's always out or the meeting gets canceled. Dude, they can tie you up for months. So here's what I do on those is I set up an assignment agreement if I'm allowed to do it, and there's no restrictions on resale. And I let them do the application process because it's such a nightmare for us. If I have to buy it, clear it, do the application, and then 5 days later, do it again with my new buyer, it's going to take probably 2 to 3 months to get it done. So understanding in condos, every one of them you get in, they're like, it's, so here's the easiest way to do it. If you decide to get in that market, if you get a motivated seller, which they are in condos because it is houses, ask them for a copy of the rules and regulations, and just ask them if there's any restrictions on resale. The ones that have restrictions on resales, just stay away from them unless you want to own it like forever.
All right, dude. You just threw like a lot of gems at me, dude. That's crazy. Thank you so much.
Well, guys, I'm just understanding condos, like they're not big fans. See, people understand condos were just misunderstood. They think, oh my God, they think a wholesaler is going to come in and ruin their market value. And it's actually the opposite. And when you sit down and communicate to them, like I've sat in front of a board probably 30 times. I hate it. I dread it. And I've even bought in 55 older communities when I was much younger. Unfortunately, I'm approaching that now. But it's once you tell them, like, listen, I want to clean it up. I want to find the right buyer. Do you guys have a buyer for me? Do you have some input? You know, what do you think it's worth? And they start telling you, then they're on your side. They're scared to death you're going to destroy their values. And once you convince them of it, it's never a problem. But and when you do those boards, it's like it's brutal, man. There's no other. I mean, you sit in front of like a bunch of older people and they judge you, especially if you're young like you are, and it's a real challenge. So just be aware of it. So just make sure there's no restrictions for resale or a rental because it kills the value of them.
All right.
And don't do Century Village. You just, it's not going to work.
All right. And my last question. So like, would the closing process be like different with mobile homes? Because I just turned 16 and I was planning on just signing with my dad. I just want to make sure like that.
So you're going to have to get someone to help you. Most of the consensus, I'm not a lawyer, so like, don't take my legal advice, but typically 18 is the legal age. I had to do this with Zach. And as far as a mobile home, remember you're buying the piece of property and you get the, whatever you want to call it on top of it. Now, in a lot of states, you have to register it just like you do a car. It's ridiculous, but you can actually get in trouble if you don't do it. So some states enforce it, some don't. In the state of Florida, you're supposed to, but I found out a lot of people don't. So remember, when you do a closing for a mobile home, typically the only thing the title companies is they're going to underwrite the land. They don't want anything to do with the mobile home. They're like, okay. So it's like buying a quarter acre with like 3 dead cars on it. That's how they treat it. So the good part is, as long as the title is clean and there's no recorded liens on it, like you're good to go. They close really, really fast. And the other reason I like them is people are really open to creative terms too. And very rarely is there a mortgage involved with a mobile home unless it's like a big size park.
All right. And lastly, like with the contract that you provide, like would that work with mobile homes? That's my last question.
Yeah. I mean, there's simpler ones. Guys, listen, contract is about contract law. So it's, as long as you have the basics in there, and I'm not a lawyer to tell you what the basics are, but really, I bought a house once on a napkin, a cocktail napkin, when I was younger. You can actually legally do it. I do not recommend that, by the way. Don't do that. But like in the old days, in the 70s, 80s, people used to take notepads and just write stuff down. Nobody does that anymore, and it's reckless. So it would be the same. It's just not a single family home, and some of the language is not going to kind of make sense. So you can adapt the contract for it. It's not earth shattering. And remember, you got to look at septic. You got to look at the utilities to it. The biggest challenge we have with mobile homes is the water in, water out. You have to have a treatment system. So they're a little expensive because remember, a lot of them, they're not like city water hookups. A lot of them are like in rural areas, and it's like, so they got to treat their own water. So we deal with this all the time. It's a pain in the butt.
All right. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much. Seriously.
Okay, keep coming back, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. I got Narissa coming up, and Joel, I'll hit you next. So get ready. I like your background screen. Narissa, you there? Narissa? Narissa,
Yeah.
Rick's calling you.
Hey, Rick, I'm here, but I don't have a question. I'm just
That's all right.
listening and honing in
Well,
and
what? Let's. So remember, I told you got to have fun in wholesaling, right?
right. So,
So
let me tell you
where are you
what's my
located?
why. And I'm
Where are
gonna
you
tell you
located?
what. I'm Georgia.
Georgia. What part of Georgia?
Conyers.
Yeah. How's the temperature right now?
It's cold. It's snowing. My feet are cold.
Oh my God, please don't send that my way. It's like 76. It's perfect right now. I got flip-flops for full disclosure underneath the table here. I do wear pants, and I'm not a big fan of cold weather. I like skiing it. I like visiting it, but I can't live in it. But go ahead, Narissa. Tell me your why and tell me what's going on.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what's my why. I'm not the 23, 22-year-old. I am almost the senior. And my why is I don't want that Social Security check.
Okay.
That's my why. Because I work in insurance and I work with seniors with Medicare and their struggles and things that they go through. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like horrifying. And so that kind of became my why, but I've always been kind of interested in wholesaling, but it's so much material out there, it just kind of drowns you and it kind of stagnates you.
Okay. So
It's like you want to move, but you don't know what to do.
Okay. So Narissa, I promise you're not the only one that has this issue. So let's try to break it down with you. I want to help you out with what I can. How long have you been interested in wholesaling?
Oh, I have, to be honest, I have looked at this probably for 10 years off and on.
Okay. So
went to it, came back, went to it, got busy with life, but it's always been like a burning desire.
Okay. So the key word here is I'm very hypersensitive to what you say. So I got ADHD. Every teacher told her I was going to fail in life. Okay. Not every teacher, but you get the picture. When you say the word interested, it's not enough to move forward in wholesaling. I'm just being honest with you. I think you have the desire for it, but you can sit on the sideline and kind of look at it. And the first 20 minutes, like when you get a chance, if you don't get too snowed in, go back and watch it. It's specifically for you. I will tell you this, you have to have a clear and definitive why. You have direction with your why, but when you say, I don't want the Social Security check, it's like saying, I want to make more money. Well, here's $1. I just satisfied that. Your brain is it will play tricks with you. So it's amazing how we're all here on this earth. Like it's just like your heart, your lungs, everything works perfectly. We're communicating. We're on an electronic thing. It's a miracle. Plus, you're in the United States and you have the ability to make a choice of whatever you want to do. I want you to understand the power's within you. You have to create a why that's so resonating in you. You're not interested, you're doing it. And until you can make that commitment, and this is why I harp on it. A lot of people don't talk about it. If you don't, like, I got to the point, I got so frustrated in my job because I just had no time with my family and I just didn't see a future. And I said, there's got to be something better in life. I looked at real estate investing for like a year and I saw like I'd sell a house, I'd make some money. I didn't really do anything. I go, well, how can I turn this into a business? And when I said, listen, I want to walk in my boss's office and I want to get fired or I want to fire myself. And I tell you to this day, when I went back and did it, and that was in 2003, it's probably, other than having my kids and getting married, my wife's probably watching, is probably one of the most satisfying things I've ever had done in my life. Because it was just a freedom. And I hated what I did. And honestly, I pay into the Social Security system. I just wrote a huge check for them. I assume I'm getting none of that money. I'm not dependent on it.
And you're not.
I know, like I see the handwriting on the wall. My son knows he's not getting it. It's one of the reasons, he's made his own path. So,
Well, I
Marissa,
guess, Rick, maybe I'm not using the right terminology because I'm ready. I've set up my podio with Zach. I spent all
okay,
this week doing that. I'm purchasing my PropStream this weekend. I have my I have a list of driving for dollars
okay,
properties. So I'm setting up my leads and for some people that this is a good thing too when you talk about driving for dollars. My son-in-law drives for Uber
oh, there
part-time.
you go.
So I'm like, look, while you're out there, you see any abandoned houses, send them to me. So I have about 20 houses that he's already sent to me just from Ubering.
Okay, so you got to do it. So let's do
So I just
this.
need to do it.
Tell me your why right now. And the really cool thing is you can play it back. You can write it down. I'm going to tell you, you guys, you think I'm fine. I worked on my why like a week. I had to make it so resounding. And then I want you to say it out loud. And then if you like it, you're going to write it on your bathroom mirror and you're going to have to look at it every day. And you can lie to anybody else. You can lie to friends and family, but if you lie to yourself, it's the worst feeling in the world. And you know what I mean? So tell me again, Narissa, if you can get a clear, definitive why and anchor it into your nervous system, your brain will follow. I'm telling you right now. I know it sounds like hokey pokey, but I spent a lot of times doing like a lot of Tony Robbins training. I went back 5 times to burn it in my brain. And I'm telling you right now, your why has to be so strong because when you have your why defined, it's simple as this. And this is all Tony Robbins, not me. I'm not going to take credit for it. Change your story, change your life. The only way you can change your story is have such a resounding why. Some people wait till, you ever heard of people where they hit rock bottom, like I got to change or like I'm going to die. And not that it's not like quite like that, but like, I don't want any part of your soul to die. Like, I believe you go to the grave kicking and screaming the whole way. You have fun. You take care of yourself. You take care of everybody around you. Enjoy every day like it's a gift, right?
Got you.
So tell the world, tell me what your why is and just spit it out from your heart. You got part of it in the right, but the thing is, if you clearly define it, and it doesn't need to be a paragraph. It can be a sentence. It can be 2 or 3 sentences. This makes a tremendous difference on becoming interested and pivoting over to actually doing it and taking the action to get it done. Because you could study my videos till you churn blue. At some point, you got to go, like, you just have to commit and do it. So without further ado, I know you didn't plan on talking about it. So this is fun because you're learning how to take action. And this is part of the biggest steps to get started in wholesaling. So I'm going to shut up. You tell me your why, and then you can go back and record it. And then you're going to write it on your bathroom mirror, and you're going to keep working on this why and make it better and better.
My why is I don't want to become a senior and have to depend on Social Security for income. I want to be a senior and have my own financial freedom. That is my why.
And then you can use your Social Security money for fun stuff because you don't depend on it. But if it's there, you can do it for you want. So
exactly.
Here's what you need to do is just keep working on your why, because the more specific it is, the more it's going to resonate with you. So I get the Social Security. So like, just get that out of there. You want to be financially free, and I don't want to depend on anybody else. And
Exactly.
I'm going to depend on myself, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of my life. I don't care what your age is. It doesn't matter to me, because you have the ability to wholesale. You could technically do it from a wheelchair, because I've seen it done. You can do it from remote places. It just requires you to use your brain, and you've got to truly want to help people. And Narissa, I know you want to help people. And if I can get you out there helping people, I feel fulfilled. And I'm removing every obstacle to get you started. You know, it's amazing. People are like, well, If you do it for free, it's not going to work. I'm telling you guys, it doesn't matter if you pay for it or you do coaching. You have to do the work. You don't pay for it and you skip it. And vice versa. If you get it for free, you don't skip it either. You are going to pay the toll. The question is, are you ready to do it? So keep working on that. Why,
Yes.
Narissa? You got any other questions for me?
Okay, you guys are talking about those disclosure states? Is Georgia a disclosure state? Do I need
don't
an
have it on me
attorney?
'cause it's for. So number one, I'm not an attorney. So actually, most of my family's from Georgia, but I don't know. I did a video on it and I put it up there, but you can easily search it in your state and find out. So I don't want to give you bad information. So there's 48 states in the mainland. It's hard to memorize everyone. So, but I did an entire video on it. And I walked through them. So just check back on there, and then you can look up in the state of Georgia. They have to spell it out in their public domain there. So.
Okay, so one more quick question. So when you're doing a JV with someone, you're in one state, they're in another state, and the property is in another state. So we're talking 3 states. Say I'm in Georgia, the person I'm JVing with is in Texas, and they have a property in Mississippi. So where do the laws fall in terms of writing the assignment?
Okay. Well, you're using the word JV, which means joint venture. So usually a joint venture is between two. So if like you were going to joint venture with me and Zach, we get together to put our expertise together to basically wholesale a property. The law is always going to pertain where the property resides. Bottom line. Sometimes, once again, I'm not a lawyer, but in the contract, they can put special wording like, any disputes have to be settled in the state I reside in, which is Florida or Georgia. Once again, it's too technical. You're overthinking this. If you're looking to do a house in Texas, you got to follow Texas law. I don't care where you are.
Okay.
You have to follow it where the house is. That's where you're going to start. Don't overthink it. So if you buy a house in Florida, you follow Florida law. If you buy it in Georgia, you follow Florida law. But most people only deal with like a state or two, and you get really good at it. You're never going to do all 48 states. I haven't done all 48 states. I've done like 9. Like it's just I'm more of a Southeast type of guy. But I've done stuff in Texas and Nevada, and you've got to learn like the markets when you go there. So you got it. Go get your why. Put it on your bathroom mirror. I'm telling you, and just look at it every day. And eventually, if you take massive action and keep moving forward, you're going to lose the word interested. Get rid of the word interested. I don't like it. You're doing it. You there? Okay. I lost her. Joel.
Hello,
You
Rick.
there?
Can you hear me?
I feel like I'm in space.
Oh, yes. Universal.
How you
How
doing?
are you doing, Rick?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm calling you all the way from Virginia.
Okay.
At 12 degrees Fahrenheit.
Good Lord, man. I tell you what, man. Although I sit here and suffer through brutal hot summers, so I got to get out of here in the summer. But what can I do for you, Joel? What's your question?
All right, I have a few questions if you're willing to answer.
Okay.
First, I'm in analysis paralysis at the moment.
Okay.
And because of the ADHD, I think you also have dealt with it.
I got it,
You
buddy.
go through so much of confusion. You're like, okay, I want to wholesale. Oh no, I want to go to sub 2 property. Oh no, I want to flip. I want to do something else. It just gets so confusing at that period.
Okay. So your question is, you feel a little overwhelmed and you're kind of confused to where to start, right?
Yeah, like that's kind of one thing.
So what's your why? Why are you doing
Why
this?
is I want, like the last lady said, financial freedom. I don't want to be working for anyone my entire life. There's so much to live for in life. Do help others.
Okay. How old are you, Joel?
I'm 18, going to turn 19 in 2 months.
Okay, man. So I want to put this in perspective. So if you're 18 and watching this, I want you to understand this. Okay. My son started when he was 17, and you guys know the end story with that. And he's 22 now, and he's very good and he enjoys what he does. As a father, I just want him to be happy. Am I happy he works for me? I'm ecstatic. It's a gift money can't even buy me. So I will tell you this. Other than my family, I would give up everything to go back to 18 to start over. I really would. Like I would I would just, so you have the greatest asset of all. It's time. It's youth. You guys don't understand how I had someone the other day, well, I'm 28. I kind of feel like I missed the boat. I'm like, are you kidding me? I didn't even start till I was 33. Like, sometimes we have to put in perspective, like what's about. Time is the most valuable asset you can have, end of story, because you can't get it back. So you just won the lottery, Joel. You got to reset your mindset. Okay. It's up to you to go forward. So do you have ADHD or like what?
I just think I have it because I switch around so much. I couldn't even focus in school correctly. I usually do my own thing.
Okay.
Like even in school, I was studying real estate and not even focusing on the curriculum.
So how long have you studied how long have you been looking and studying and playing around with real estate?
Since like 15 and a half to 16, around that.
Okay. So, dude, okay, don't worry about what you've done before. You're so far ahead of the game with like your thinking. So have you figured out what you want to do in life? I guess is my other question, because that's part of it too. Do you want to have a family? What do you want to do? Do you want to travel? Like what's
Definitely want a family, settle down.
Okay.
Strong family. Create something, build passive income.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Joel. Do you want to build an amazing life?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you should settle like everybody else does in the world and be a robot and go to your 9-to-5 job and
No.
and then retire at 65 and live the last 10 or 12 years of your life? Like,
no.
Okay, if you
that
don't
is
subscribe
just,
to it,
torture.
Okay, don't do it then. So, if you've chosen wholesaling, so you said you looked at wholesaling, sub 2. Let me give you my theory on this, okay? And especially as a young man, it's the same advice I would give to my son if he was 16. Heck, he's only 22. So, wholesaling is the quickest path to generate revenue in real estate investing without having 4 years of knowledge. Okay. Anybody within 90 days, if they take massive action, I mean a lot of action, they can get a deal done. When you get a deal done, it registers in your brain. I can do this. You repeat it over and over, and it goes from the first one's always the toughest. Wholesaling is the quickest path. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It is an entry level. It's a way to start. Has it gotten more challenging? Yes. But you've got more tools. You've got more knowledge, and shoot, dude, you're only 18. So that being said, I would start there, because if you understand the fundamentals of wholesaling, everything else you can build on. If you have ADHD like I do, is you got to pick one thing and nail it. If you try to do too much, it's like, forget it, right?
Yep.
Like
that discourages me.
If my wife gives me a ton of things, I just go, oh my God. Like, that's why I love wholesaling, because I can dive in. Me and Zach will sit and do like we do like hour powwows, and just we work on stuff. And I go deep, and I go, I'm so tired after the hour. It's like, I'm old, man. I need a nap. Like, I'm a dad. So it's my recommendation is starting wholesaling. You can pick the beauty. It's your life. You can do what you want. Sub 2, just to let you know, it's incredible. Like, I give kudos to anybody that's creative financing. But a lot of your deals, sub 2 deals, will come from wholesaling itself. So it could fulfill two things by doing it. The problem is if you go to sub 2 and you skip wholesaling, a lot of people just do that because they think it's going to be easier. And the reality, it's not. Like, there's no shortcut. You're going to have to figure out one way or the other. So if you want to do this, go deep, go hard on one of them, learn it and master it. Here's the deal, dude. I'm not telling you to spend 4 years to study wholesaling. I just gave you an action plan to get it going in 90 days. The question is, will you do it? If your why is strong enough, you want to do it, that's it. But try not to do 100 things. I got into creative financing completely by accident. I had deals that I just couldn't get traditionally work. And then I worked with people that were a little bit smarter with me. I worked with lawyers, and we figured out how to help people. And most creative finding terms are just sitting down and finding out what they're willing to do if you can't do it traditionally. But I'm telling you right now, a lot of the creative financing you're hearing is people are putting down huge down payments. If you got a bankroll and it's no big deal to you, knock yourself out. But if you're just getting started, creative financing, you got to make positive cash flow from day one. You
What
can't
about
go in
private
the hole.
lenders?
What's that?
Private lenders usually,
What about them?
like they say, you should take private lenders and for your first deal with no money. Is that like usually a good idea?
So it's to be honest with you, when you're starting out, it's hard at first. Like it's like, because who's going to lend you money if you have no track record? Like, and you're 18. I'm just gonna be honest. I couldn't do it at 18. Like I struggled at 33, to be brutally honest with you. So I think you need to find motivated sellers, and you need to help them. How you help them is you have to get qualified and figure out the right questions to ask them. So if you use the freewholesaling.com, easiest way to do it. Number two is you can work with partners to help you fund a deal. There are some deals that you actually have to fund. Yes, I'm telling you in wholesaling, some of the deals you actually have to fund. You at least have to have the ability, either with a hard money lender or a private money, which is dynamite. Some people will ask family, but I'm telling you, family's some of the most brutal people to ask money for, because it's like, family's tough enough. Would you agree?
Yep, I can definitely agree with that.
So once you mix money into it, it's like adds an extra pressure. So what happens once you do a couple deals, people will start saying, "Hey, Joel, like, what's this thing, and can I get in on it?" It just happens naturally. I don't even try to raise money. It just happened. I just worked through it, and now I figured out like how to do it on site. No matter what if there's a really good deal, the money's always going to be there. So, Joel, I know that was a long-winded answer, but I would go long and hard in one area, and I think wholesaling is perfect if you have ADHD. I'm just telling you, man, it is.
I'd agree. Wholesaling seems much better.
So what's your super strength? What's the one thing that makes you unique?
The thing is, I do not want to cheat people. I really genuinely want to help someone out.
Okay,
Like,
so
when I'm doing this wholesaling, like I want to actually help someone who has issues. Like they're really desperate to sell their property. I want to help them get out of that situation.
So, by the way, there's this myth that everybody who does wholesaling has to find like desperate people. There are some, but I'm going to tell you, like, I help out normal, regular people. Like, let me ask you, when you meet someone for the first time, Joel, do you tell them like all your life problems and like,
oh no,
your financial issues? So sellers don't do it either. They got to get to know you, be comfortable with you, and then you can help them solve a problem. So
like build rapport.
Correct. So you just connect with them. We teach it out of conversations over scripts. And the idea is, if they genuinely think you're qualified and you can help them, they will give you a shot because they're rooting for you. You can't let them down. I had to tell you about, dude, I pride myself on that. Like, I rarely ever backed out of a contract. I only backed out of a contract when somebody hid something from me, or like there was a massive change, a hurricane or something like that. Then we had to do it. But for the most part, our company closed on like 85% of what we do. And that 85%, it would be like 95%. The virtual marketing is what pushes it down, because a lot of them we contract sight unseen, and it's a little bit more wobbly when you do those. So just start at freewholesaling.com. Do not complicate this, and get a couple deals under your belt, and then you can decide the direction. Maybe you want to put more money into it. Maybe you want to get a partner. Maybe I don't recommend that, but if you put money into, you can put it in the marketing. Shoot, you can hire someone to help you out. I don't care what you do, but the first deal should be free, in my opinion, because it's easy.
Yes, sir.
Your goal's got to be to get to $100,000. You know how you do that? You start one deal at a time. The only way you're going to get a deal done, if you don't, you have to start talking to motivated sellers. You have to. Like, there's no, you're going to get more frustrated the more you watch my videos and not like take some action with it. So you're 18, dude. You're 18. Like, let that sink in, dude. You just won the lottery. Like, you are so young. and you have a lifetime to learn. So you're in 2022, make it count going forward. And
Yes, sir.
any other questions for me, or I'm just
Yes.
trying to give you some direction, a little bit of motivation
No,
here,
I
but
mean,
I'm just
really,
telling
thank you. Like what you're doing for the community.
yeah,
I don't know what to say to you, man.
you write your own script, man. Like you write
Mm-hmm.
your own script. So, yeah, I don't really recommend a lot of people because everyone's a little bit different. But if you ever have a chance to do like a live Tony Robbins event, don't you guys
Mm-hmm.
understand? Tony Robbins, he lights the spark, but it takes a lot more than that. Like a spark will like get you going, but it will die out quickly if you don't take consistent, massive action with it. So if you have the chance, guys, you can go on YouTube. You can watch 15 hours of motivation. I do it all the time, man. Like instead of starting out with CNN or Fox or any of
Mm-hmm.
these news outlets, start out with motivational videos. Like start there because it starts the direction of your day and it'll motivate you to kind of move forward. And like you're 18, dude, the sky's ahead of you. So stay in
Mm-hmm.
touch with us. Let us know. And
Yeah.
by the way, guys, I can tell who goes through freewholesaling.com. I know who's doing the work. Like it's like I'm not your coach to sit here and go, okay, you skip chapter 6. Like when if somebody really wants help on like a one-on-one, I'll ask them how far have you gone in the course? And I tell them, don't
Yes,
lie
sir.
to me. I can click a button and see what percentage you completed of it. So start there.
And one more thing.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna start with MLS usually because marketing cost is $0 basically. So what I'm thinking is give the agent the listing agent 6%. Start from there. Bring them get a good offer.
So Joel,
And
let me help you out here. Stay away
Mhm,
from MLS. It's not going to help you.
mhm,
It's a pit for retail buyers. You do not want to be there. You take properties to MLS that are ready for retail because you want to wholesale it. You are not there.
mhm,
Do not waste your time. It will burn you out of this business and you'll be kicked to the curb. I'm just telling you right
mhm.
now. Yes, the last thing you want to do. You do
So
not. You
yeah.
need to go direct to the seller. You need to find motivated sellers and you're going to have to do some sweat equity lists. So if you go to freewholesaling.com, everything's in there for you to
Mhm,
at least get started. And there's like an entire 30-minute segment on just that alone. You need to study that and go hard. Now, when I have HDH, when I used to study wholesaling, what books and stuff I read when I started, I would read the book 10 times. That's what you have to do. Don't read 10
mhm,
different books. Read that one book 10 times. It makes a huge difference in your brain.
mhm.
Okay. You're just getting started. Don't get overwhelmed. And by the way, in freewholesaling.com, you do not have to study the entire thing to get started. You can at least start taking action and take the steps necessary
Mhm.
to get you to your first deal. Okay.
Sure. So for now, do you recommend for sale by owners
You can do
usually?
it, but you're going to have to work on
Mhm.
your conversation. And that's going to
That's
be
for
at
sure.
freewholesaling.com. And you got to practice. And if you
Mhm,
have the ability to come back on, Zach does usually every week or every other week. He does virtual training for just cold calling. And he'll cold call
mhm,
with you. And like, hey, let's go through this. Let's do it together. But you got to bring your A game. Like if you didn't practice once and you don't want to put the effort into it, you can't expect Zach to sit there and just like, oh, come on, you can do it. I need you to get that part done. So you've got the
mhm.
practice. Everything's in there for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you want to be on the starting team, you've got the practice. You got to put in the work. There is no,
Mhm,
I don't know where someone thought they could skip all this stuff. Every now and then someone gets lucky, but in wholesaling, you don't get lucky. It's the person who's consistent and takes action and keeps the train moving is the one
mhm.
that wins and they get their financial freedom. So I know you can do it, Joel. Keep us updated
Thank you,
and we'll go from
sir.
there.
I really
Johnny,
appreciate this.
no problem. Hey, Johnny, are you around?
Yes, sir.
What's up, Johnny? How you doing?
I'm good. How are
Guys,
you?
listen real quick. I'm going to do Johnny, and then we're going to rip through the comments. I'm not forgetting about you guys, so I'm just trying to give you as much value as I humanly possibly can. So, Johnny, you were up, and then you disappeared, but it's okay. What's your question?
Oh, I'm just listening in. I'm just trying to. I've been doing. I have learned retail. I'm 4 years old. I started a company last year in April, and
Okay.
I just start buying and selling. And I got a few wholesaler that provide me properties, but like I've been trying to do the fix and flip. I didn't, and I got ADHD as well. So I tried to do the flipping. I went to school for real estate, but the issue that I have is that I'm a foreign. People usually don't like to speak with foreign or with accents, and uh, I feel sometimes there is that gap between them and me in communication, and I'm I'm concerned about expressing myself to others.
Okay. I get it. So, Johnny, where are you from?
I'm from Puerto Rico. I live now in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay. So I know a lot of people from Puerto Rico, and an amazing place, amazing island, and it's really part of the United States. Like we
Yeah,
can debate that later. But so, how long have you been on the mainland versus Puerto Rico?
12 years. I got a
Okay,
family. I got two kids.
you got it.
And
You're fully Americanized now. So,
yeah,
um, so I can tell you this. Like, so what? You have an accent. I don't care. It makes you unique. Okay. Um, I don't know you, so I'm not going to make assumptions. But I will tell you this. Whenever I deal with someone that says, "Hey, Rick, my accent's too much. It's going to hold me back." First of all, that's your story and you got to change it. Like you have to change it. Now, the really cool thing is a lot of you don't understand this. Vocabulary is a learned behavior.
yeah.
Okay. How can someone that doesn't speak a lick of Spanish learn? Like I've watched people, like I'm always amazed. Like I watch, I like watch like UFC fights, and a lot of people come from Brazil, a lot of foreign countries, and they pick up the English language in like 1 year. You know how hard the English language is if you don't know it? It's terrible. It's a brutal language. Like how, but have you always been bilingual, or is it something you had to get better with when you moved on the mainland?
So I used to work for a bank, so I speak some true English, but I used to work for Citibank, and they were gonna shut down the offices in Puerto Rico, so bring me the opportunity to move to the U.S.
Okay.
So when I move, I have to step up and learn good English. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So it's safe to say you understand English easily, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
everything I do is in English.
And you know how to write it, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So
I even got the letters. I'm
okay.
gonna tell you. Last year in February, I have 40K on the bank, and I was like, I need to do something with this because I keep paying the bank. They pay me 1%. There is
Okay.
no way that I
So
can make.
Johnny, okay, let me get to this so we can help you out here. You understand English, you know how to write
Yeah,
it, you communicate it well. You got an accent. Who cares? Like I get it. People will judge you. It's safe to say it. I'm not going to lie to you. That's what people do. It's your responsibility to help communicate to them. So one of the key things when someone has an accent and they sound different, I always tell them just to slow down your conversation. Sometimes when you slow down, it's you can be more conscious about like pronouncing your words. I think it's amazing because I only speak one language. I feel kind of stupid about it, but um, you speak two languages. Like I'm
correct.
sure you're fluent in Spanish, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So like I can tell you, like I do the South Florida market. That's a huge asset, like where I'm at.
yeah.
So where are you right now again? Virginia?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina. So um, being bilingual, in my opinion, is a strength.
Correct.
Just just find a way. Listen, I'm not a vocabulary like coach or anything like that. And maybe there's somebody in this chat can help. I've learned I've seen people come from other countries and come here and they like kind of I guess they kind of like they adapt to the accent in the local place. Some people
Yeah.
adapt and some people don't. I don't know why that is. But you need like you can work and kind of find I don't think it's going to cost any money. I just think find someone that can help with the age of the internet. You are not the only person who's ever had this problem. Um,
Correct.
I worked with a young lady. Um, This is a while back. Exact same issue. And the only tip I gave her is to slow down and work and practice on your pronunciations, because anything you practice, you get better at. So
Correct.
you already know 2 languages, dude. Like, you're way
Yeah.
ahead of most people. And you know what? I hate when people judge people, but this is the world. Like, you
This
got to
is the human
understand.
nature.
You can't deny it. But I understand you, but I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
So you have to adapt to them. They're not going to adapt to you. And I know that's a bit of a painful truth, but it is the truth. So you understand. So you don't have to go through the mechanics of learning language. It's just, to me, it's just working a little bit on like pronunciations. I don't know the best way to do it, but I promise you, if you do a search on the internet, particularly YouTube, because you're connected with me here, is probably the best way to start. And just practice. Like, I'm telling you. So if you got on the phone with me and we were doing cold calling practicing, I would tell you, just slow down, pronounce your words a little bit clearer, and let's try it again. And I guarantee 4 or 5 takes, you'll be 10 times better when you do it. Do you understand that? Like, it's like when Zach started real estate, everybody, he goes, I'm so young. What am I going to do? No one's going to take me seriously. I go, do you think it's a problem? He goes, no. I go, okay, it's not a problem. You just need to work on it. You're going to have to win them over more. You have to take the same attitude. Same thing.
Yep.
This is on you. So you already understand it. It's just a pronunciation game.
Correct.
So just slow down and then find someone that can help you get it, because I've seen people, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, it's so funny because when you go over to other countries, people think we have an American accent and like we don't understand it. So it's like we're not even aware of it. We all talk because it's the way we were raised and it's what we learned. The same philosophy when I tell you, if your parents didn't give you good information, you can change it. So kudos for you for learning multiple languages, trying to make a better life for you. So like, don't get frustrated, man. And you got a lot of stuff going on. Decide if you want to do wholesaling. Pick your why. Go to freewholesaling.com. We do 3 lives a week and we do 2 videos a day, and you can always connect with us. Okay.
I just signed up, and I just appreciate what you do for the community. I just been in different other wholesaler groups, but they always try to sell. And the thing is that you guys do it for the people, and that's what kudos to you guys.
I know. But listen, I'm all for anybody who helps people out. A lot of people, there's a lot of good people out there that help a lot of people, and anybody who wants to help somebody aspire, I'm all for it. I just think wholesaling is kind of a basic starter thing. And I actually paid for courses that had nothing to do with wholesaling, and I had to go figure out wholesaling kind of on my own in the beginning, and it wasn't nearly as accessible as it now. So you got great tools. So I appreciate it, Johnny. Keep working on it. Let me answer some of the comments here, and we'll connect soon. Okay. You got this. Okay, guys, I did not forget about you in the chat column. I apologize. So when we do these, the StreamYard links, if you go under a wholesaling houses for real, let me see on here. Zach always puts the link on it. I can never find it, but I lost it. If you go to free wholesaling, our Mastermind Facebook group, that's it right there. It'll give you all the information to do that. Also, as well, guys, is we have our JV program going. It's a learn and earn. So here's the premise of it, okay? This is a way where this is not for super experienced people. You guys got it figured out. You probably, unless you just want to work with me, I'm fine with that. But if you can find a motivated seller and get some sort of contractual obligation and use our contracts, I prefer you use ours. If you submit your deal on the link below there and we accept the deal, we partner up with you, meaning you put down no money on it. The deal has to be good. I'm not going to sit here and like tell you if you have to be direct to the seller and it's got to be a good deal. You have the ability to partner up with us. And if the deal makes $50,000, we split it. And what you get is you're able to work with me and Zach one-on-one. So we do have a team. They do underwrite it. We do qualify it. And if your deal is picked, They will reach out, they'll call you, they ask you some questions, and then either me and Zach will jump on a call with you or a quick Zoom, and we'll get going. Now, I am not going to be the cash buyer for these properties, for full disclosure. I'm not doing it. The idea is you can learn and earn, which means if you can locate a motivated seller and get that going, which is not hard to do, I will work with you on it. I might have the ability to fund the deal, but then you get to see me work from start to finish all the way through, and you walk away learning how to fish instead of you going to the fish store. And if you want to bring another deal, that's great. If not, I want you to fly your wings and guys do this on your own, but it's a way we can work with together. And I love working on deals. It's actually my passion. I'm addicted to real estate deals, and I love connecting with people all over the country. So if you have a really good deal and you are direct to the seller and it has motivation and you have some sort of contract to show us it's real, we want to talk to you. Understanding if it's not a good deal, we're just going to let you know right away. We do not waste time on this. I promise you this, I'm not asking for any money up front when you do it, but if it's not a good deal, your deal will be declined. So submit your deals if you guys want to work with us. It's fun. It limits your risk, but I will tell you, you do have to work. So we're going to match you up with cash buyers in the area. We're going to give you tasks to do, and you've got to follow instructions. So I really want to work with you guys. I think that's about it for our lives. Let me see if I got any other questions here. I think that's it, guys. What's up, Tila? She's always here. She's late, but she can watch the guys. This is recorded. Let's see. You guys are talking amongst yourself. I love it. So, guys, every Friday I tune in here. Sometimes I do it Thursday. I swap with Zach. Zach goes live Thursday. Sometimes between Tuesday and Thursday. He does it a lot. So take advantage of it. This is your free mastermind. I left time on the end here because I didn't have enough people on the live. So guys, if you took advantage of the live, awesome. Our job here is to help out as many people as we can. I can continue on my legacy and enjoy watching Zach help everybody out. We love everybody who tunes in. I know you guys give up your time for this, and we do appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and check us out. Flip with Rick on YouTube. You can also go to Wholesaling Houses for Real on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you guys, and I cannot wait to work with you guys on deals. I'll see you real soon, guys. Thank you, and have an awesome weekend. Thank you.